Set the dial to infinite and go for God. And look at the desire for the dream. Wanting to be something other than God. We see how much Jesus, this experience here is to see that energy that's suppressed, the wanting to say no to light, and how deep that is. And how the ego, the part of us that's playing, is not light. The desire to keep not being peace, perfect peace. How much consciousness doesn't want to look at that. Doesn't want to see how the play is to control the miracle, to control the expression of divinity. And it does that by not following what's true. The desire to stand back and not step forward and just face whatever needs to be faced in the subconscious mind. I'm asking Jesus, this does take focus. Because of the habit of focusing on the shark going by and wanting that to be real, the desire for the dream to seem real, to forget that it's a dream. You can ask Jesus, Jesus, do I have a desire to forget that this is a dream? The desire to play in the dream. It's so great. It was just last night we were given Shrek to watch. It's so good to have these little humorous movies, to see that it's all a dream. It's all a little Shrek-based adventure. And how, even though it'd been seen before, you see something new. Jesus shows something new every time to see. The desire for the experience of being unworthy of love and mad and misinterpret that love's not here. It seems to be about not loving a person, or not loving another ogre or another beautiful princess not loving me. And what's so great, so adorable about that movie is the whole cast of characters, like, are all fairy tale characters. You know, it's hilarious. You see there's like a little torture scene. Now this is amazing, right? And it's torturing a cookie. You're gonna torture a cookie who's cutting the little cookie's legs off. I mean, that's just the play, isn't it? Wanting to torture a cookie. Yeah. And then Shrek wanting to boot everybody out of his little kingdom because he wanted to keep his little swamp fiefdom clear of all the beings. And of course, what's going to happen is all the fairy tale characters just mobbed him. He got mobbed by the fairy tale characters in his swamp, and he was going to do something about that. He's going to boot them, get him out of the swamp, get all those characters out of his little kingdom. And then, of course, Eddie Murphy, the incomparable Eddie Murphy as the donkey, just would stick to him. You ever notice that in consciousness? There'll be a being that's going to stick to you like glue, and you just like want nothing to do with them, and they're just following you around everywhere. You just can't get away from them because you're calling them to see what's true. We want to be shown the truth, kind of, in our own way. Because the doubt thought is that we're not lovable. The desired experience is not to be lovable. I asked Jesus, Jesus, do I desire an experience where I don't feel lovable? Jesus said, it's impossible for you to be lovable because you're love itself. Merry Christmas. Hashtag supreme happiness. You're it. And now we're just looking at how much we don't want to be it. The rocket ship, as everyone's calling it, this direct looking to see it's impossible not to be it. You know, every now and then those thoughts arise. Jesus, when's this going to be over? When I'm just going to be it. And then you laugh and go, oh, wait, I'm already it. Okay, right. Okay, then show me where I don't want to be it. I don't want to be, I want to play like I'm not infinite light. Where that's the I's function. Whenever you don't follow, that's being involved in the play. And so the ego's going to fight the following. That's why he's really encouraging us to join with mighties, to hear what's true. And mighties that are symbols of uncompromised. See, the ego's going to run the other way. If there's a mighty that seems to be uncompromising, and I told David this was hilarious. I was sitting by David, and I remember thinking, he doesn't feel predictable at all. Well, that was how I felt about Jesus and God. Like I can remember, you know, sometimes like, oh, I don't want to talk to them. I'm not going to like what they're going to tell me. The I again, it's all the I. We have to really stand into that. Ask Jesus, do I need to really stand into that and go to the reflections in my mind that are so dedicated to light? That's why Jesus is sending those. So we cease to be play in consciousness and kind of gravitate. And you'll even get a gravitation of a cluster of beings will come together in a spiritual playground to play spirituality, to explore consciousness. Jesus is taking us beyond consciousness. Jesus is taking us to supreme happiness. And just it becomes clearer and clearer, not knowing what supreme happiness is really. We can ask Jesus, do I actually know what that is? See, the ego likes to pretend it knows what that is. That's the play of pleasure. It masks pain as pleasure when they're the same. You can ask Jesus, are pain and pleasure the same? Really have to give, I'm asking, and he's saying, yes, give over the idea that you know what pleasure or pain is, because you don't know what that is actually in actuality, but not knowing what supreme happiness is at all. Because you'll get a prompt. Jesus is saying yes to talk about this. And it won't feel sparky whatsoever, because that sparky word's used. The only question is this divine expression? That's it. Because the ego is not going to feel happy whatsoever, or sparky, or want it anything to do with the prompt. It's going to discombobulate it. I feel confused. I don't think I know. It's going to do that the little miracle side shuffle. And it was really helpful, that distinction that he gave last night. The miracle is following. The miracle given is following. be beyond the idea of a personal identity. We have to step forward into divinity as a divine being, acceptance of divinity. But because all of consciousness is made to not make that feel good. So here comes the prompt, and the whole play of consciousness is to make divine expression sacrifice, to make the prompt the enemy of the state. So I'm asking Jesus, and you can hear the reflections from the beings. It's not going to feel sparky. As I've said, going to Jerusalem, there wasn't really, I just knew. And it's getting to the point that so many things, I can think of all things, so many things that he directed. But you just know it's what's most helpful is this divine expression until we can learn from him what that means. There are going to be times you must, he says, you must go past your no. Because you're saying no to yourself, and we don't even know when we're saying no. So that's another question. By not doing this, Jesus, am I saying no to infinite light that I am? He's saying yes. That was helpful, Kirsten, saying, do you know how many times I have had to say no? And you will need to say no a lot. It'll seem like continuous for a while. Because of the desire to say yes. Built all those railroad tracks to say yes to no to divinity. So are some of the things it's going to feel like, and then make Jesus the enemy, like the enemy. I'm going to have to sacrifice, and without really acknowledging that that is turned upside down, then the play will continue to be suffering and smallness. There is no other way. I'm asking Jesus, I'd love to find another way. There are, again, lots of things will not feel sparky. Sometimes it does, sometimes, but you would think, because again, I'll talk about the scuba diving in Bali. And when I saw those flags around that island, those scuba, it's like, I am not, the number of times I've said I am not doing something. You hear the I am not seeing the scuba diving. That's Jesus knowing our true, where our true happiness is. It was like that beautiful movie, The Bishop's Wife, when, oh, I can't possibly go ice skating in the middle of the day. We don't know our own happiness. We don't even know what's sparky and inspiration. We have no idea. Ask Jesus, Jesus, do I truly know what inspiration is? Inspiration is who you are, inspired by God. The ego is like, again, it's like that cat that's splayed out, holding on with its claws. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not leaving my house, because it's the illusion of safety. You can ask him, Jesus, can I truly see who I am without stepping out of that? Stepping into function meaning expression of divine light. As you teach me what that is. You teach me what that is. And, it's beautiful hearing it from Kelly and other beings around me echoing. You get the Jesus echo through your brother. You hear it. He tells you don't know what anything else. And then you hear it in stereo. You don't know what anything else. You don't know what anything is. And it just comes in the stereo speakers of the brothers. So this is a good stereo speaker. You must follow. Follow, 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 follow. So the echo comes back. Follow, follow. Out of the mountains. If you yelled into the mountain, Jesus, do I need to follow you? Yes. Come back. Is it going to feel good? No, at first. It's not. Is the ego gonna yell and scream? Yes. Do I need to do it anyway? Yes. Am I gonna scream and tear my hair out? Yes. Sometimes. But the good news is now we can look and see that it's all desired experience. Then we get mad because it's desired. How did I get myself in this pickle, Jesus? Don't ask how. Just ask me how to get out. So there's no, yes, he's been saying, no armchair Jesuses. You cannot see miracles that way, really. To learn what miracles are, he won't teach, you won't be able to see the power of time and space rearrangement. The power, infinite, it's just a little taste. Time and space rearrangement is just a little taste of the natural order of divine being. And even with all those miracles, I can see that play occasionally in consciousness. You know, miracle after miracle, Jerusalem, India, da 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 da. And it's still going to rise up occasionally. Jesus, what have you done for me lately? And he knows it takes a lot of convincing. I don't know how much more clear he could make it sometimes, but he'll remind you of the stories. Like he's reminded me now. I've told the story about that time I was driving up north to my brother's property, and the day before I just met with a friend. I didn't want it from grammar school in high school. Like, why would I want to talk to them? You know, why? You know, who's, you know, you're being sent this gift from God coming in, and we say no to that. Didn't feel sparky. Do you see that? You know, I'm like beyond that. I'm spiritual or something. That was some fun. I'm not going to go join them for have. And then I said, no, I'll go. And then it was spectacular. A lot of no's come before spectacular. Time and space rearrangement by Jesus. You can ask him, Jesus, am I likely to say no before a time and space rearrangement? Before like 50,000 angels are going to land? Will the I say no? Of course. You can expect it. Because it's a desired experience. Be that as it may. So I go and I sit down with Kim, beautiful being. She starts talking about this priest. And I just, it was like, oh my gosh, I feel this priest, you know, you just know there's some kind of holy purpose together. And he had been to, he was up in this little town, Amite, Louisiana. I mean, we're talking the sticks up there, little tiny church. But it's a story for all of us. His story was for me. You know, how he had gone to, his father kept wanting him to leave. I love this. Thank you, Jesus, for reminding me of this one. How obvious he had to make it for me. And he had gone to Majorca with his father going, you know, you're trying to give him the prompt. This is not the life for you, this businessman life. It's just not for you. And he's no, 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 until he goes to Majorca to the, I guess, the statue of the Blessed Virgin. And then he had a vision or something where she reached out and she touched him on the head. This is how the spirit deals with us. Show us, we don't know Jack. Anyway, so then he gets a white shock of hair right here. It's a symbol of her touching it. And then he knew he had to leave it all. So he gave away all his business things and joined the seminary. And went to the seminary. Became a priest of this little church in Amite, Louisiana. So wouldn't you know it, the next day after talking, I can feel this priest, and I'm driving and I'm 10 minutes outside of Amite. Ding, here comes the bell. And really, actually, the number of times I probably said, oh shit, when I heard something from the spirit. I could hear it. You're going to meet that priest. It's like, but you just know it. You just start to hear so it's not going to feel sparky. That is such a good reminder. Divine expression just is. It's showing you you're beyond spark. You're infinite. So I can hear it. Oh, 10 minutes. I have no idea. Where's Jesus? Where's this church? You have the doubt thoughts, all this stuff. And then so I'm driving and I look and it's 1 mile right off the highway, right on the way to my brother's. Now, how does that happen? Come on. That's time and space rearrangement. It has to be that. So I drive off the interstate and I go and I find this little church and I pull into the parking lot and it's pouring down raining. It's like, it's like it's a continual state of what do I do? But as we were talking about last night, it's those unusual situations where you don't think you know what you're going to go up more likely the ocean. Okay, what do I do? Because right. And it's pouring down rain and I don't know where I'm going. And this guy comes out and he pulls up right in and he's going, hey, what you looking for? And I said, I think I'm here to see Father Mike. I don't know what I'm doing. That's the best situation. Ask Jesus. Jesus, the best situation when you have no clue, because you usually have no clue. You just think you have a clue. so I go, okay, well, I'm here to see Father Mike. He goes, oh, just go to the office. He's not here. So I go down this hallway, go down toward the church rectory or whatever it is where the office is. And 9 foot, this is the tiniest little courtyard with 12 statues, 9-foot statues of apostles. Mm-hmm. These white 9-foot, they're huge, 6 on each side, just walking down this little, it's not much bigger than this room, that courtyard, actually, with a little path down the middle. And who's standing in the middle of it? Mary, of course. There's Mary in a fountain there. And so I go and then I go into the office. Yeah, I'm here. Oh, Father's not here. Okay. So I'll just go look around. And they gave me a tour of the little church and showed me the little relics in the back. And of course, I judged that. Look at those dead saint bones. But and just see how the mind works. Just like, but you just know you're in purpose. Even the little objections come up, whatever. So I went with her and got the tour. And then I go back and I look and they have the most stunning and amazing little tiny gift shop with some of the most beautiful little Jesus things. Of course, and Jesus knows he knows that's attraction to those little Jesus things now, even though I would have run the other way before. I mean, they're beautiful pictures of Mary and the baby and like really beautiful. So, okay, I didn't see the priest. All right, Jesus, I came. You know how you feel like, oh, I'm getting like that. And so I get back in my car and I drive up to my brother's property and I'm there overnight. And the next day, I'm heading out. We're driving out together and he's going left. I was going to meet him at his house. And I heard, okay, you're going back to Amy. Jesus. You're taking a right and weaving through all the back roads of Mississippi and Louisiana, go back to this little church. So, okay, Jesus, I'm here once again, and I go sit. There's a little, I think it's called a sacristy. See, I didn't pay very close attention in Catholic school. But anyway, it's a little room with little chairs for contemplation. And you hit a button in the Eucharist. The body of Christ comes up like, I don't know, it's like this big. And then you can meditate it. And I was quite in the joy, I was thanking Jesus. Oh, Jesus, thank you for everything. Oh my God, I'm just so happy. Thank you. Thank you. It's really wonderful. And I'm praying. And, I didn't meet Father and it's going to be, but I came. And then I turn around and I go to open up the door, which faces the hall of the apostles. It's just, one of those slit windows. And I look down there. There's a priest at the end of that hallway. That point, you just kind of know who's in charge of this. So I walk out and here comes that priest right up smack in the middle of the hall of apostles. And I put my hand out. I didn't know what to say other than, hi, Father, Jesus sent me. It's like, what? And he goes, oh, this is really beautiful. I told him my friend Kim told me and I could feel him. And he says, I'm so glad you came. I really, I've been praying. I really need help. And right now, and I guess he's trying to raise some kind of funds for the church. But it was like, I just said, Father, you are carried by the Holy Spirit. And he thanked me for coming. We just had that little encounter, and then I just kept walking. He kept walking, and I went and bought a little picture of Mary and baby Jesus for my mother. But you can see, that's the way it plays. You're going to want to say no. But you have to see what you're saying no to. It's not going to always feel good. Before time and space rearrangement, no, it's probably not going to feel good whatsoever. You can ask Jesus. Ask Jesus if whether or not before a time and space rearrangement. Because the ego is going to protest that divine expression. But he can't give us these, I had to have it so, and he knew that, Jerusalem, I had to have it so clear. This is your function. This is your function. This is your function. But if we don't say yes, to see that we're saying yes to divine light and bypass that no, you'll stay trapped, is the idea of a personal identity. Lesson 358. No call to God can be unheard nor left unanswered. No call to God can be unheard or left unanswered. And of this I can be sure. His answer is the one I really want. See, these are calls to God for us. It's the only answer we want. He's calling us, step out of the idea you have of who you are. Follow me. You who remember what I really am alone, remember what I really want. We have to accept the lessons as he gives them. be willing to accept them as he gives us. You speak for God, and so you speak for me. See that Jesus, do you speak for me? With all the love of God, I speak for you, he says. All the love of God. He just wants to tell you that in your ear. The Jesus fireside chat. And what you give me comes from God himself. Wow. Your voice, my Father, then is mine as well. See how he's reminding us. This is our most important function, especially through like the light circles and these joining sessions, to hear and speak God's voice through us, because it's our voice. To speak his voice is our voice. It's a reminder that it's our voice, the voice for truth within us. Your voice, my Father, then is mine as well, and all I want is what you offer me, and what you offer me through my brother. In just the form you choose that it be mine. We have to let him choose for us. Let me remember all I do not know, and let my voice be still. Remembering. But let me not forget your love and care, keeping your promise to your Son and my awareness always. Jesus, is your promise, is the promise of God in my awareness always truly? Can the light of infinite being be lost ever? Let me not forget myself is nothing, but myself is all. And thank you for helping me to remember that through my brother. You start to see that your brother is the greatest Christmas gift at all, as of all, really. The gift of the reminder of divine light within. As many times as we don't want to take it, as many times as Shrek tried to get rid of that donkey, he wanted to boot that donkey out. And you'll feel like that. And it seems like over time too, like you get more and more irritated by your brothers, seemingly, because it's more in your awareness that the denial becomes more and more in awareness. So it's a good thing to be irritated by your brother, as long as you go for the miracle really quickly. He says, come to me in light, to undo that perception of irritation, the desire for the experience. He's reminding me of what he said that just touches the heart so deeply. The only thing you can be sure of in this world is that I'm here to lead you out. And your brother is my representative, is here to lead you out. Amen.